Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Alex, and I am with my good friend Kev for another episode of the Chelsea Fan TV preview show, the CFTV preview show. I want to apologise. We haven't had a one of these shows for the past couple of games, and that is pretty much my fault. I've been very ill, and I'm still ill. I've got the throat soothers. I've got a few pills hanging about if I need them. But I don't know what it is, guys. As soon as I got back from Dubai, for some reason, I've just been really, really ill. Not that I can't speak or anything like that, but I just feel like if I speak enough, I have this massive coughing fit. So I've kind of avoided it. But I mean, I can't avoid it forever, Kev. So we're here, my friend, and we're going to continue rolling because this isn't going to last forever, but the show must go on. Thanks for coming on, my friend. How are we feeling? We've got Crystal Palace coming up. I mean, let's talk. Let's talk about it.
Feeling a lot more better going into this game after the performance on Wednesday. For me personally, probably one of the best performances of the season. Um, Completely took the game to Villa, finished our chances, and it's the first time I've seen Chelsea actually on the halfway line trying to get into the other team's half and try to play football. Madueke was brilliant on the night. Enzo, Gallagher, the whole team turned up, and I think whatever Pochettino said on the meeting on Monday worked. And I think it's time for us now to turn our season around. For me, we could use this game as a bit of a turnaround, in the minds to start the season from Wednesday and let's move forward and just play a different kind of football because Palace are there for the taking. Palace are not are not a very good team at the moment. Hodgson's under a lot of pressure. Uh, So it's there for the taking. We've got to continue to play football like we did on Wednesday, and I could see us getting the points at Palace.
Yeah, I mean, from what we saw over the past few weeks, it's been pretty up and down. Obviously, Liverpool and Wolves was a disaster, and then we came back with one of our best performances of the season against Aston Villa. So, I mean, we can see clear changes, obviously, with the results. But I mean, talk to me about the differences in the way we set up, the way we play, and I mean, are we going to continue to flip flop, change our tactics, change what we want to do, or is there something we know we need to do to get the points? And ultimately, if Pochettino can't figure that out, that's pretty poor from him.
Yep. If Posh reverts back to the same play around about football now, it's on his head. As we keep on saying, this team is capable of being a top six team. There's no ifs or buts about us being in the top half and being where we should be. Which we are not 11th place team. We are not a bottom half Premier League team, and that's where we are in reality. So it's down to Pochettino to set us up to go and win games. And in most games, what you're seeing is the same kind of football. It's just pass it left to right, backwards, and it seems like usually when players are that young, they don't play on the fearless. The players are playing under pressure, and against Villa, wow, every single one of them was getting the ball forward and just trying things. Enzo was just spraying balls, and Caicedo was turning and running, and it seemed like Pochettino said to them, just play with confidence. There's no pressure now. Just go and play football. We know you can do it. So it's just the same thing again, really, against Palace. And can we continue to just play the same football in other games, not just Palace, but the games after that as well?
I mean, Palace are not in good form. I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched many of their games, but
Yeah,
it surprises me how toxic things are uh, at Selhurst at the moment. Because for me, like, don't get me wrong, Roy Hodgson's never going to be my first choice manager, and I actually think Patrick Vieira was doing a decent job.
yeah,
He got them playing better football, he got them getting results. He had a great first season, but things just fell apart. And I mean, we've seen it before when there's a slight risk at Palace. I mean, Steve Parish, who's the owner, he doesn't take any risks. He doesn't mess around. Ultimately, he wants to know that that club is going to stay up. That's all they care about, staying in the Premier League. I think he's quite
yeah,
open about that, and I think that's a good way of thinking as well. If you do look at if you look as a certain team who have constantly been in relegation battles, trying to push up for European football and pretend you're a certain type of football club. We've seen what has happened in the past when they had Frank de Boer and managers like that. It just doesn't work. You got to be simple. You got to be realistic. I think they've done that. But Hodgson's passed it. I mean,
Oh,
but he
he's
did the right thing coming back, and he did a great job when he came back. Kev, he kept them
yeah.
up. I remember when they played against Leeds. I think that was his first game back, and they went on a great run. But
He's a
you can't have
dinosaur, isn't
players.
he's an absolute dinosaur. Like, just imagine if he was your gaffer, you look and he's just not relatable. Like, he's well past it. So
I
I
don't think
think
you
I
have to
think
be relatable, Kev. I mean,
yeah, of
you
course,
look at
but no, you do in this day and age. You got to think, yeah. If you're looking there and your gaffer's 70, what is he, 75 or something? Like,
yeah,
he's just yeah. I think they need to start planning. Personally, they're going to be planning for next year. I think if they
yeah.
stay up this year, I think they've got to get rid of Hudson. I think he's time for him to retire, isn't it? And, he's way too old to be on that training ground on a daily basis. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, when you look at what they're doing at Palace, obviously they've got a great history of bringing up young players, and they've, to be fair, they're still doing it. They just signed the guy from Blackburn. I can't remember his name. We were looking at signing him. They
oh, that centre midfielder. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
25 million,
Yeah, good.
and they've got Elise, they've got Eze, all these players, and I'm sure they're both injured if I'm not wrong.
Mhm.
Loads of injuries at the moment. But I think the thing is with Hodgson is you got to try and develop youth and bring more players through. And he's not going to be planning for 5 years' time with the club. His future doesn't lie there. There was a period where he retired and came back to Watford just to get some working because he got bored. And he's come back to Palace and he's done a good job, but for whatever reason, they're not happy. Guys, if there's any Crystal Palace fans here as well, please explain to me why things are so toxic. Because you're not in the relegation zone. Okay, you have a
Yeah,
bad run of form.
15th place, isn't
I
they?
mean, what do you
So
guys expect at Crystal Palace? I would love to know where you expect to be and why you don't think you're hitting whatever parameters you need to. Because when I look at Palace and I look at the table, I really don't see a big disaster.
no, like you said to me a minute ago, Crystal Palace, I think they're just more than happy to be in the. So you know, if they're getting carried away thinking they're going to be in the top half and playing this world class football, they're delusional. They've got good players. If Ease and Elisa is, that's more for us because that's their two key men. But they've always been a team that just mid place team. So with Hodgson, he won't be playing for the future at all. I think they need to, like I said, develop their new players. To sign that player from Blackburn. Elise has just signed a new contract as well. So for me personally, they've got to keep hold of these players next year. He's and Elise are key to them. I think a few they probably get in top 16. That's how good they are. So if they can keep hold of their players, get a new youthful manager in next year. Hopefully they can push up a bit more better in 15th. But no, they should be happy. They should be happy to be in the Premier League.
Mate, that's the way I look at it, to be fair. But I mean, who knows? Who knows really what the situation is with Palace? There's opposition previews as well they're going to be going up, so be interesting to see what they say. I think as well when you're at your own club, you see a little bit deeper than other people do. Um, you know, ultimately, Chelsea fans understand the history of everything that's happening with us, and that's why there's some fans are a little bit more patient than others. And then you've got other people saying, well, you're mid-table and this and that, but you've got to understand the context. Maybe there's a little bit more to it that I don't understand, but I don't know. We'll see. Listen, guys, before we get into the next part of the video, just want to quickly give a shout out to our sponsors, and they are Match Bingo. Now, if you haven't heard of these guys, they're very, very good. Very, very good. All of the big games are brought to you by Match Bingo. So that's where every goal, save, throw-in, or corner substitution can win you cash prizes. So it's very unique, quite different, and obviously you've got the bingo element as well. Try it out. You get 10 free cards a month. 99% of the Premier League games and Championship games are on the app at £2 a card. And every card purchase supports the Stroke Association, which I think is quite a nice touch as well. They're doing a little bit to give back. All players must be above 18 or 18, and try and play responsibly, guys. We don't want to encourage people to, be silly. If you are going to play, but be responsible. Terms and conditions apply. So if you click the link in the description, guys, you can check out Match Bingo. I've played myself. It's a good bit of fun. Enjoy it. Have a little bit of fun, and let me know what you think about it, guys. But anyway, let's get straight back into the video, my friend Kev. Let's talk tactics. All right. We know that the situation at Palace has turned a little bit toxic. Ultimately, it's toxic at both clubs. Whoever loses, there's going to be a lot of backlash. And that doesn't matter if you're Roy Hodgson or if you're Pochettino. Yeah. You can't lose this game. You cannot lose this game because Palace will be expecting to get a result against us. They've got a decent home record against us.
We haven't beat us in 5 games. We've won the last 5 games, Alex.
What, at Selhurst?
We've won the last 5 games, Chelsea have. Okay, even though they've probably been little 2-1s.
Well, generally speaking, Palace have found a way to get results against us in the past when they've been struggling. I mean, I remember the iconic moment for me was when they had Sam Allardyce and Benteke scored that chip against us in the league. I think we'd already won the league by that point.
We've won the last time Palace got a result against us was in 2017 where they beat us 2-1 at the Bridge.
Yeah, apart from that was a Benteke goal, right?
Yeah, we've won every single other game apart from that. So
bloody hell. I didn't realise we were that good. But that just piles even more pressure on Kev.
It seems to be a team where we get a result. Like I think if it was last year that Ziyech scored to win our
last year. Gallagher scored. The year before that, Ziyech scored.
Yeah. So
we've had a few late winners, but it's never been easy. Then in that case, we've had to work for it.
Yeah, and when they had Zaha, they've always been a team where they get out. They're fearless. They like to play football. They've never been a team that sits back. But under Hodgson, they've been a bit more pragmatic, apparently, a bit more sideways and backwards. So that's why the fans are getting on to him, saying that his tactics are a bit dated and this and that.
They've always played like that, Kev. I don't get it.
No, but
they've always played pragmatic football. What do you want?
Yeah. This Palace,
you want to get relegated. Is that what you want to do? Play tiki-taka and get relegated.
Yeah, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. So, end of the day, talk about they're going to set up that they've got players that can get on the ball. If Eze's going to play tomorrow, he's a key player. They've got the striker up front, French one. What's he called? Give me a second. They've got that French striker.
I know you're talking about the really. They've got Edouard and they've got the really tall guy as well.
Edouard.
But I mean, Kev, how many players have they got out injured? I don't know the details of the injury list, but I'm aware that Palace have a lot of players out at the moment. I mean, we've got injuries.
Well, they've got Eze, they've got Mark Gui's out, Elise is out, I think Endukuro as well. So they've got massive players out the south tomorrow for the game.
We can't lose. We can't lose in that case. But then it's a case of how the Palace set up. Are they setting out to get a point? Are they going to be happy to sit back and soak it up? I think that probably will be the case. To be honest with you,
that suits us though. That's what we want.
No, I don't. I don't think it does, Kev, because we play our best football when teams come out and we're able to break them. When it's an open game, we seem to be okay, but we're not a team that is good at breaking other teams down.
I just like us to see just to play the football we did on Wednesday. Okay, regardless of what other team sets up.
Aston Villa pressed, they tried to play. We had space. I don't think Palace are going to give us space. I think it's going to be compact. I think they're going to sit deep. They're not going to push many forward. If they are going to try and counter, fair play. But I think it's really going to be them trying out to get a point, because ultimately a loss is going to be a potential sacking for Hodgson. I think you could take a little bit of credit for a point against Chelsea in the current circumstances. Like, irrespective of how bad Chelsea are, it's still Chelsea, isn't it? So you can look at that and say, we're building on something. We're a hard team to beat. That's a little bit of credibility in itself for the manager. And I think that Palace will take a lot from a point. But for us, we cannot go into this game and take anything less than 3 points. I mean, a draw is a loss. And even when we talk about a low block from any opposition, what pisses me off is when we have a low block and then we've got Enzo up the field next to the striker. He
Yeah,
needs to be the one opening these teams up.
yeah, it
And
needs
then
to be
let's say they
fixed.
are going to counter. I don't want Caicedo on his own. I don't want
No,
that to happen. We need them together, no matter what team we're playing against. For me, I think it's evident that those two are a two. It's like when we had Fabregas and Matic. Matic
Fabregas,
sits, Fabregas creates and gets everything ticking. That's what I
yeah,
want to see with Enzo and Caicedo, and we're
and I
going to
think
control the midfield if we do that.
they hit and they've done that to a T against Villa. I think at one point in the game, it was literally about that close together, just going playing 1-2s with each. You remember it? There was just like probably about 6 passes together. And that's what you want to see, that little bit of connection. And at the end of the day, as much as it's a new partnership, but they're both from the South America, they both speak the same language. I'm sure they can gel quicker than what they've done. It's took them 7 months to get to this point where they're starting to gel, but things take time. I wasn't expecting them to break it straight away. I think this Villa game now is a massive turnaround for me. My mental, even me, and now I've been buzzing for the last few days just because of that game, and I think the lads should be as well. I think the way they turned up in that game, especially the midfielders, Gallagher was pressing, Gallagher was getting the ball. Every single one of them proved that they could do it. But I think against Palace, it's a totally different ball game. We know Palace are probably not going to come out and play, but still, we've still got to try and do the same things we did against Villa, and that's get the ball into Madueke, Nate Jackson's, get Palmer on the ball. Just get the ball up there and just make things happen. And even if we have 20 shots and there's only 3 on target, at least we're getting shots away instead of just passing it around. We just
Yeah.
don't want to see that. We want to see us. We've got all these brilliant attacking players. Let's go out there. They've got key defenders out. See how many chances we can make and see how many chances we can take.
Well, this is the thing, though. I mean, you mentioned Madueke, you mentioned Jackson, and I was listening to what Nina said, and she did a video earlier, which you guys can check out as well, round the corner. And she often does, predictions on who's going to start and who she thinks Poch will play, and she really made some good points about the fact that Madueke clearly deserves to start, and
Got
he
to.
probably won't. And I find that extremely frustrating because, Pochettino talks about playing players on merit. He doesn't have favourites. And then we see Sterling starting half these games, Gallagher starting half of these games, and players being played out of their positions to accommodate underperforming, overpaid players. Now, I actually don't think Gallagher's overpaid, like we know that. But the question is he good enough? We know Sterling's overpaid, and we know he's not good enough. That's obvious. If we can get
Sterling shouldn't even be in the squad. Sorry to
no,
interrupt.
no, I mean Sterling's a disgrace, and I'm not anything like players out this or that, but I am there with Sterling. He can get out. I hate him, Kev. I
No,
despise
no,
him.
no, no. Hate's a very strong. I wouldn't say
Kev,
hate.
I don't know him
Okay,
personally, right? I'm not saying I hate
okay.
him as a
So,
person.
so
I hate him
Sterling
as a player.
Sterling goes and bangs in a goal against Liverpool in the final to win the Carabao Cup. Ever we
What?
wouldn't be
So,
saying that,
so
wouldn't
you
you?
love Kai
You think
Havertz?
things change,
You love Kai Havertz?
but I don't hate him.
Romelu
I,
Lukaku
I, I
scored in
don't.
the Super Cup,
I don't hate. I don't hate. Hate's a
Club
very
World
strong word.
Cup.
I think with
What, do you love
Sterling,
Havertz? Do you love Lukaku? That's what you're
I could,
telling
I
me with
couldn't
that
say
logic.
I couldn't say I love them, but I can't say I hate them. Hate's a
Well, I'm
very, very.
sorry, Kev. I hate him. I don't like him at all. I don't like him. I have no personal issue with Sterling. It's not a personal problem. I'm sure if I saw him on the street, in fact, I'm very aware he's a nice bloke. Most footballers generally are nice people. As I said, this is not a personal attack on Sterling. I'm sorry, but you're only 325 grand a week, and you expect me to support you after almost 2 years. You don't do anything for my club. So what am I doing for you? Am I honestly going to give you a backing over players like Jackson, players like Nkunku, players like Palmer, players like Madueke? The list goes on.
Steve,
Even Mudryk. I'd rather see Mudryk on the pitch underperforming because at
no.
least Mudryk gives me hope. Because I
It's
know in the future
yeah.
Mudryk might click. Sterling's supposed to be there, Kev. What are we waiting for? The guy's almost 30.
It's bad. It's bad. And against Villa, he was just jogging back. Considering the way we played on Wednesday, every one of us, the way we got back into shape. So, say if we lost the ball in the opposing half, the way everybody run back and got back into shape, Sterling's not that person. He was literally just jogging like that back.
But he can be that person, Kev. He chooses not to
It's just
do
late.
that.
He's just lazy. He looked like he just didn't give a shit.
He's lazy. He's crap. He doesn't have an output. He's not a good leader. He's overpriced. He's overpaid. We can't offload him. What is he? Look, Sterling is basically the English version of Lukaku for this club. The only thing is he hasn't had an interview with the press and called us out. But that's because Man City don't want him. You know, he would go to Man City in a heartbeat if they would take him. We know this. We absolutely know this. The reason he came to Chelsea was because we matched the wage demands. His family are based in London, and we were at the time an elite club. We'd had a relatively okay season. We finished in the Champions League, lots of trophies. I mean, why wouldn't you go to us? Do you honestly think Sterling would have accepted coming to Chelsea this year rather than last year, knowing that we didn't have any European football? We didn't look like we were progressing, and our owners, you know, for the most part, are running us like clowns. You know, that's the reality, that they're running us like clowns. I'm not saying they are. They can still turn things around, but the past 2 years, don't tell me that we haven't been run like an absolute shit show, because it's a disgrace. Now, I'm not against the owners yet. I don't believe that, you know, we should be calling for their heads at this moment. I do believe there are people who need to be accountable for the horrific recruitment in some positions. You know, why did we never have a striker in the first place when you spend £1 billion? I mean, that's something. Why did we get rid of Broha when we didn't have a striker in January? If Fulham play Broha as many minutes as we need him to, they pay zero, Kev. They pay zero. And then people complain about Nkunku playing up front, but then Jackson's not very good up front. He plays better on the left. We need a simple solution for this team. And that's why, again, I am not putting too much pressure on Poch for the result, but I
we haven't got
do
a striker at
believe
all.
he needs players to play in the right position, and then the fans can at least say, well, any other manager that would have done the same thing, you would have got a similar result because you did the right things tactically. And that's where people have been frustrated, is because he hasn't necessarily done that. But for me, what Poch said in the post-match conference against Villa, I think he hits a nail on the head. It's a new Chelsea, but ultimately the new Chelsea shouldn't be sitting in 10th, 11th place. So we need to get our act together, Kev. But I just want to.
We are 11th place. We're in the bottom half of the Premier League. That's the seriousness of it. And you know, we've got to see the reality of stuff. You just got to look at the bigger picture and think how poor this club's been run, and you know, managerial decisions from above, and players' performances and everything else. Everything's added to this position in the table. But what I can say is that there's a lot of negativity. I try to not look into it now. There's a lot of pages spreading a lot of rumors about this club and trying to get this club buried. You know, we're halfway buried already, but they're trying to actually kill Chelsea. So what the best thing for us to do is go and play like we did against Villa. Win, win, win. That's the only thing we can do now. You know, I didn't think we'd get a result there, and I thought it would be the same kind of football, but it was just a total turnaround. And that's what I'm expecting now. I just want us to go and play football. Like, regardless of what's going upstairs, regardless of what players left, regardless of players coming in, we are not a 11th place team. So it's down to the manager now to kick the players into gear and get us going and get a run of games, run of form, run of games going. And let's go into the final, try our best, try and win that game, and just continue the season, because we can get into the top 8, top 7 if we just go on the run there. And we've been saying this for the last how many months. Alex, can we be consistent? Can we get a run of games? And it's never happened. We probably go 3 games, and then we're going 2 games where we shit, and then get a draw, and 3 games again. It's not good enough. We need to go out now, and the mentality needs to change. Chelsea's mentality needs to change, and it comes from the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, my friend. Let's just finish this off, Kev, with our predicted lineup, who we think is going to play, and then we'll go with the match prediction as well, the score prediction. So we'll go from the goalkeeper all the way up. In fact, let's start with the strikers, and we'll work our way down to the defense. Who do you think's going to play?
Petrovic in goal.
No, from the strikers, Kev.
Oh, from the strikers backwards. Okay, sorry.
Let's
Okay,
change it up a little bit.
yeah. Okay. Thinking. We're going backwards. All right. So, I'll go with Nkunku.
Nkunku up top.
Up top, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Wow, did you see his touch against Villa when he took that ball down? I think Pekovic hit it right up, and he just brilliant. I think he's one of them players where he can shine tomorrow, and I think if he does start, he gets a goal. So I think Nkunku in the 9. I'll go with on the left. Who would I go on the left? I'd go with, it's a bit of a difficult, Palmer on the right. I'll go Madueke on the left. I think I'll go with Gallagher in the pressing 10 again.
Well, I may have to. I don't know where that comes from.
Only reason being is because the performance against Aston Villa. I think you cannot drop him. The standard of the standard of his game against Villa, you'd have to start him again. Obviously, as well, he's playing against his former team. He's going to be up for it. So
I'm not sure if I'd put Madueke on the left, though. To be honest with you, I think that it's either Palmer or Madueke. I don't really think that either of them have played on the left at all.
Madueke is a left footer. Palmer's a left footer, but I think that's the only. It's you got to do something. You got to get them both in the team.
Jackson on the left.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
It's difficult. We're getting to the point where now we're scratching our head thinking we need to play. It'd either be Jackson on the left, Palmer in the 10, or Madueke on the right. But I think personally, I couldn't drop Gallagher. So I think it'd be Gallagher 10, Madueke on the left, Palmer on the right, and then we're going to the pivots. No brainer once again. It'd be Enzo and Caicedo. Just keep I'll be telling them just keep that performance up. The same again. And then on the left back position, I'll go with Chilwell, Badiashile or Colwell if he's back. But Badiashile played well in the last game. It'd be Disasi, right centre back, and then right back Gusto, Petrovic in goal.
Fair enough, my friend. And I mean, I'll just put it out there for myself. I think we can win this game. I really do. The question is, if we play the right way, and I think if you get Palmer on the ball, if you get Enzo on the ball, if you get these players linking the play, allowing the other players to make runs and actually utilize each player's talents, then I think we've got a good chance. I want to see good balls in the box. I want to see creativity in the midfield. I want to see shots from distance. I want to see, intricate 1-2s. I want to see link up. So many different things that we can see from this team because we've got lots of different qualities. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think this is a 1-0 game. I think there's one goal in it. And I think once we've got one goal, it will be very difficult to lose. I just don't see the belief in Palace. I think that tactics is great. That's absolutely fine, but I'm not seeing the quality with Crystal Palace. I'm not seeing a pressing team. I'm not seeing a crowd at Selhurst that's going to be particularly supportive if they go 1-0 down. So I think once we get that first goal, anything can happen. But so I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea. And if I was going to predict a goal score as well, I'm with you, Kev. I would say Nkunku, because against a low block, you need a quality finisher taking the few chances he gets. And I think he's that man.
Definitely. I think I'm getting a bit of an Aston Villa moment with Watkins. I can just picture a 1 or 2. It's not going to be a 5-6. It's going to be a game with very little chances, but it's about how you take your chances. And if you've got Nkunku there, like I said, he's had very minimal opportunities to score, but he's already got 2 goals in the 60 minutes he played, and the goals that he scored very clinical. And that's what you need. I think him in this game tomorrow is pivotal for us to get in the goals. So If you're going to ask me for predictions for the game tomorrow, I'll say 1-0 and Kinku being the goal scorer.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, guys, if you have been watching for the whole video, 30 minutes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to keep this show going. You know, we were never going to stop. I was just ill. So we're back. We're back. And
Back with a bang.
even if the results continue to be absolutely painful, we will endure the pain. I do just want to highlight
positivity. Like the season started on Wednesday. We can do it. Look, as much as everything going on, we can do it. I walked up that ground and I've been buzzing for ask him over half. I've been watching that free kick video all like for the week. Like, I'm buzzing.
Beautiful free kick, mate.
What a free kick! Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it.
Absolutely, and I want to say as well, we've got a lot of exciting news for the channel, which I can go into detail. You know, we are looking at getting a studio. We're also looking at getting merch. So yeah, these things aren't easy, but we're getting there. We're tricking along. It's a lot longer of a process than I thought it would be, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. So little sneak peek for you guys as well. But if you agree or disagree with anything myself or Kev has said, let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. It always helps. And we always enjoy reading what you have to say as well. But listen, guys, we'll see you in the next video. All the best. If you want to stick a little acca on before the game, as I said, check out Match Bingo. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.